Tonight at 5, what we know about the circumstances that led to the arrest of the Madison School Board's vice president.
Plus, an exclusive one-on-one with State Superintendent Jill Underly will show you her response to criticism of how the DPI handles educators' sexual misconduct.
And later, if you haven't bought all of your holiday gifts yet, you're not alone. Last-minute shoppers tell us why they got a late start.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us in. Eric Franke has the week off.
Thank you for your help tonight.
Happy to be here.
We're starting off with a look at the forecast as the holiday travel period gets underway. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the patio with more on what we can expect. Alex?
Yes, we can expect mild conditions and some showers throughout the Midwest, including southern Wisconsin. This week, let's get right to it. We're going to take you through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Temperatures starting off in the 20s to the lower 30s here in Madison. As we go throughout the daytime, as we move through Christmas Eve itself, some showers building in from Madison south to St. Louis. Look at St. Louis, 60 degrees for a temperature. And as we go into Christmas Day itself, mid to upper 30s here to near mid to upper 30s in Madison, still near 60 down to the south towards St. Louis, with some showers building in as we go into Christmas Day night, but not expecting major travel issues in the Midwest. Right now, we're in the upper 30s. It's quite temperate out here on the patio. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, low to mid 30s. That's a couple degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year. Nothing on radar 3000 right now, although we had a bit of icy conditions north of Madison as we started off the day today, and a little bit more drizzle on the way tonight and some patchy fog. Some slick spots are a possibility. We'll use FutureTrack to show you the projection of that possibility of that patchy fog and drizzle when I come back.
All right, Alex, thank you. To a developing story now that began over the weekend. The Madison Police Department is investigating the arrest of a Madison School Board vice president and the CEO of a local nonprofit.
School Board Vice President Maya Pearson and the founder of Urban Triage, Brandy Grayson, were arrested Friday night. Officers say they were responding to a disturbance. Tanasia Shaw is breaking down what we know so far about this incident. Tanasia?
Hi, Brady and Susan. This is Maya Pearson. She's the Madison School Board Vice President that could soon face charges after what police are calling a disturbance Friday night downtown near the Majestic Center. The Madison Police Department says Brandy Grayson drove over cones into a loading zone and she refused to park somewhere else. Grayson is the founder and CEO of Urban Triage, a Madison-based nonprofit. When police arrived at the scene, they said they smelled, quote, intoxicants on Grayson's breath and asked Grayson and Madison School Board Vice President Maya Pearson to step outside of the vehicle. MPD says both Grayson and Pearson refused, and officers removed and arrested both of them. Madison School District sent us this statement saying in part, quote, "To be clear, this incident is unrelated to district operations and does not involve MMSD." The statement goes on to say that individual matters like this are managed in accordance with MMSD policy and any applicable laws. I reached out to Pearson on the phone and she said she did not want to comment right now. And at last check, charges have not been formally charged against Pearson or Grayson.
Tanasia, thank you. Well, the city of Madison is also investigating this incident through its Office of Independent Police Monitor. In a statement, the city says this matter presents unique circumstances due to the role of the complainant and the proximity of that role to the police oversight system itself. News 3 Now will continue to provide updates on the story as we get them. You can follow along with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Madison police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened over the weekend. This was about 10:30 Saturday night on Portage Road, not too far from the Dane County Airport. 2 men were taken to the hospital for gunshot wounds. 1 man died and the other is receiving treatment for his injuries. Police say they found a gun and multiple shell casings on the scene. No word on arrests. The investigation is ongoing, but anyone with information about the shooting should call Madison police. People who want to remain anonymous can reach out to the Crime Stoppers by phone or online at p3tips.com.
The superintendent of the Department of Public Instruction continues to defend herself. A Capital Times investigation found 200 cases of educator sexual misconduct or grooming in Wisconsin schools over the span of 5 years. It also found DPI allowed educators to give up their licenses in exchange for avoiding in-depth probes. DPI has limited resources to investigate the incidents, with just 2 people dedicated to look into sexual misconduct. In an exclusive interview with News 3 Now, Elie LaLiberte pressed Dr. Jill Underly on whether that would change next year.
We wish we had more resources. We get our funding from the state of Wisconsin. And so if we were to get more staff, we'd have to get more funding from the state of Wisconsin to do so.
You can watch Ellie's entire interview with Dr. Underly about the Cap Times investigation next Sunday on For the Record. It airs at 10:30 right after CBS News Face the Nation.
Well, in health news, seasonal flu activity is picking up across the country just in time for Christmas. The CDC estimates there have been over 4 million flu cases across the U.S. since the season began, and 1,900 of those patients have died. Influenza A is the most frequently reported flu virus so far this season. Doctors say a particular variant is causing a highly contagious illness with intense symptoms that come on rapidly.
There should be some coverage against this strain, but we don't know how good the coverage is against the H3N2 variant that we're seeing. We do still think it's offering protection in the sense that patients who have gotten the flu shot are having decreased severity of symptoms and aren't sick for as many days compared to their counterparts who did not get the flu shot.
Doctors say it's especially important to wash your hands often and use good judgment. If you're sick, stay home and limit exposure, and it's not too late to get a flu shot.
And your risk of getting sick is heightened if you plan to travel. AAA estimates a record-setting 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home during the holiday travel period. Nearly 110 million will drive, with just more than 8 million planning to fly. Officials with the Dane County Regional Airport are asking people to be patient.
Well, we're just a few days, speaking of patience, from Christmas, and people are still out there trying to get their last-minute shopping done.
Clock is ticking. News 3 Now's Jalen Banks has been out at West Town Mall all day talking with shoppers during this Christmas present dash. He joins us now live from the mall. Looks like some good activity there. How's it looking, Jalen?
Brady and Susan, I've been here at West Town Mall for majority of the day, I'd say since about noon, and there's been a steady flow of people walking through the main concourse in search of that perfect last-minute gift. But the people I caught up with said, hey, if you can't find the last-minute one, you'll at least be able to find a good one just a few days before Christmas. If you go to any mall right now, you might see full parking lots, full food courts, and thousands of people looking for that last-minute special gift. Catching up with shoppers just a few days before Christmas, they've all said, I wish I had a little bit more time. A recent CBS News poll shows that 16% of those polled are buying more gifts for others than in years past. And speaking with one shopper, that's part of the reason she's hitting the stores last minute.
I've got a lot of family and friends I need to shop for. The online shopping wasn't doing it this year, so wanted to go in person and get all the things. I think it's easier because you get the sizes. Every size is a little different. Never know online, so I'd say in person, yeah.
And if you catch yourself doing some last-minute shopping, you might not be able to find that perfect gift, but a good one nonetheless.
Look at the discounts. Just get something simple. Get clothes.
Definitely candles, sweaters, anything easy like that.
Now, of that CBS News poll, it also says that 42% of those polled are buying fewer gifts than they have in years past for other people. Another 42% also said that they're buying about the same amount of gifts for other people as they have in years past, just kind of gauging, where things are as far as, consumer confidence at this time of year. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys. Reporting live from West Town Mall, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jalen. I wonder how long it took him to find a parking spot.
I bet it's nuts.
Yeah. Coming up next at 5, Alex will tell us whether to expect more slick road conditions over the holiday travel period.
News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has analysis from Green Bay ahead of the team's game against the Ravens.
Plus, keeping the roads safe this winter doesn't have to mean they're flooded with salt. SaltWise teams up with the Bruce Company to show you how to salt smart.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 228 points. The Nasdaq is up 121. The S&P 500 is up 44. Stay with us, News 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
There's your dagger. We're still talking about it 2 days later. The Packers' overtime loss to the Bears on Saturday.
Still hurts just
It
as
does.
much. Well, that wasn't the only bad news for the Pack. Earlier in the night, Jordan Love left the field after taking a helmet-to-helmet hit.
Yep, News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us how Matt LaFleur is preparing for the game against the Ravens with a complicated quarterback situation.
The Green Bay Packers quarterback situation is, shall we say, a little bit complicated right now. Starting with starting quarterback Jordan Love, who is in the NFL's concussion protocol after suffering a concussion in Saturday night's loss to the Chicago Bears. But his backup, Malik Willis, who played so well against the Bears until his overtime fumble led to the game-winning touchdown, is also injured. He suffered a right throwing shoulder injury during that game as well. We don't know who will be able to take snaps when the Packers return to practice on Tuesday. What Matt LaFleur knows is that he has a backup quarterback who is starting caliber.
I think 100%. I think he's done a hell of a job. I think we've all seen it, right? I mean, when he's gone in there, we've been able to move the football. We've won games with him as a starter, so we've got a ton of confidence in him and his ability to go in there and win a game if need be.
We'll have more on Willis and his journey on our website, channel3000.com, where you can find all of our Packers coverage. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. Well, at least the weather is not looking too bad. Here's meteorologist Alex Harrington with our first warn forecast.
I'm going to start us off with the three things you need to know. A couple sprinkles today, a little patchy fog, maybe a couple of areas of patchy freezing drizzle as well. That sun does try to make a return on Tuesday. Both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, some showers. Not snow in the forecast, showers are in the forecast, but we've been talking about that for well over a week. It's going to be warm. Tonight, just don't let your guard down. A little bit of patchy fog is expected to develop. Could be seeing some pockets of freezing drizzle north of Madison with some slick spots. Not expecting widespread or significant travel problems in the area, but a slick spot or two, we just want to make sure that you're aware, is a possibility tonight. Future track shows those clouds filling in. That's low clouds, likely that patchy fog, and again, that drizzle, a little bit of freezing drizzle. As we move through Tuesday itself, skies try to clear it out as we get into the later afternoon hours. Fingers crossed on that one, because sometimes these clouds can hang on when we're expecting a little sun, and then it just takes a little bit too long for those clouds to filter on out. But a little bit of sun possible later Tuesday. Lots of clouds on Wednesday. This would be Christmas Eve with a couple of showers as we head towards the evening hours on Christmas Eve. Not expecting widespread rain, not expecting heavy rain, just a couple of showers, a couple of sprinkles. As we go into Thursday, this is Christmas Day itself. We're going to have cloudy skies, and then a weather system will move through the Midwest. Now, earlier in the newscast, I was showing this, but let's repeat here. Our travel forecast as we go into Christmas Eve, temperatures in the upper 30s to right around 40 for Madison. Look at St. Louis if you have any travel to the south. They're going to be near 60 with some scattered showers on Christmas Eve. We start off Christmas Day dry for the most part. We'll be in the upper 30s to right around 40. And then as we head into the evening hours on Christmas Day, heading towards the very beginning of Friday, we'll have some scattered showers from Madison south to Chicago to Indianapolis to St. Louis, and areas up towards the north. Central northern Wisconsin might have just a couple of snowflakes mixing in. Tonight, we've got that chance for that patchy fog. Lows critical right around 32. So as I mentioned, if we get a little bit of drizzle, it could be patchy freezing drizzle in a couple of areas, but not expecting widespread travel issues tonight. Just that tiny chance of a slick spot or two. We warm on up to 40. Let's say here from Prairie du Chien to Baraboo over to Watertown, then upper 30s just a little bit further to the north, and we'll do 42, Platteville, Monroe, and Janesville. But heads up, if we get sun a little bit earlier, our temperatures are going to be just a touch warmer on Tuesday. Here's Wednesday, 40, Christmas Day itself, 39, 42, that's the warm day as we head to the 26th, and a little cooler as we head out towards the beginning 2026. Like our chimney, or here with our Christmas tree, we've got our stockings up here. This is the First One Weather Team, and I'm going to zoom on in here. We're going to go into our snow globe here. Some changes with the forecast. Last week I thought we'd get closer to 50, but with all those clouds and the chance for rain, we'll do upper 30s, which is still 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Once we get through the holidays here, we'll see temperatures staying above normal through Saturday. Then we'll dip to below normal temperatures as we head towards early part of next week, but that's short-lived. Temperatures will be back up to the lower 30s and upper 20s as we head out towards New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but those temperatures totally normal for this time of year. And how about this? This is pretty festive here. We got a pine tree with a little bit of frost deposit on the pine needles there. John, thank you for sending us that photo. And if you're sitting at home, quick, get your phone out right now and scan that QR code in the upper left so we can see your photos of the weather in southern Wisconsin, which again, it's not going to be terribly winter-like this week, but at least the plus is that travel will be good in southern Wisconsin and much of the Midwest. That's a plus.
That's a big plus. Thank you, Alex. And while it may not be necessary this week, today the Bruce Company teamed up with SaltWise to highlight smart salting this season. According to SaltWise, all salt applied to pavement finds its way into local lakes, streams, and drinking water. But as knowledge about salt's impact grows, your ability to fight some of salt's harmful effects does too.
And now with the data and also with better plow blades, we are seeing more snow get pushed off the road, right? And then you can just salt the remainder there with appropriate quantities.
And for 1 week next month, SaltWise will host a free daily live stream on salt pollution and reduction solutions. More information is available at wisaltwise.com.
Up next at 5, we'll show you how the Trump administration's latest move in its pressure campaign against Venezuela.
And after partially releasing the Epstein files, the DOJ is under fire from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. How 2 members of Congress are trying to force the agency to release everything.
Moving forward.
The Justice Department is facing continued backlash over its partial releases of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Many of the documents released Friday contain significant redactions, including whole pages of records that were blacked out. The DOJ had until December 19th to release most of the government's records under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Congress passed that law, which President Trump signed last month. Now lawmakers are talking about what their next moves will be.
And I think the most expeditious way to get justice for these victims is to bring inherent contempt against Pam Bondi. And that doesn't require going through the courts.
And the key documents that our law basically said needed to be released, the 60-count indictment that actually implicates a lot of these people, and the prosecution memo were not released. It's not about the timeline, it's about the selective concealment.
A group of survivors of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's abuse said it is alarming the DOJ violated the law, and the materials that were disclosed were what they called riddled with abnormal and extreme redactions with no explanation.
President Trump is meeting with his top national security officials this afternoon as the U.S. steps up its pressure campaign against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
With the U.S. Coast Guard in active pursuit Monday of a third oil tanker connected to Venezuela, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended the Trump administration's efforts to ramp up the pressure on Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, speaking on Fox and Friends.
We're not just interdicting these ships, but we're also sending a message around the world that the illegal activity that Maduro is participating in cannot stand. He needs to be gone.
The Trump administration maintains Maduro and his government are trafficking drugs into the United States. Over the weekend, the U.S. military seized a second tanker, something the Venezuelan government condemned as, quote, a serious act of piracy. Last week, President Trump announced a blockade of sanctioned vessels going into or out of Venezuela. And in an interview Friday, he would not rule out a war against the country, raising concerns from lawmakers.
I consider it a provocation and a prelude to war, and I hope we don't go to war with Venezuela.
We should not be waging war against Venezuela. We definitely should not be waging war without a vote of Congress.
But other lawmakers are backing the White House's pressure campaign against the Maduro government.
I support the idea of standing up to Maduro, and I want him to go.
A CBS News poll last month found most Americans are against military action in Venezuela, with 73% of those surveyed saying the Trump administration has not clearly explained the U.S. position on the matter. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro addressed a letter today to the heads of state of Latin American and Caribbean nations, calling for joint action in the face of what he calls aggression, acts of piracy, and extrajudicial executions by the United States.
A final check of our weather when we return.
We'll introduce you to a group that is trying to bring back Christmas caroling. That's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
And then coming up at 6, the Badger men's basketball team has another chance to bring fans some holiday cheer. We'll check in with Kay Racine. She'll be live outside of the Kohl Center ahead of the team's game against Central Michigan.
The Dane County Farmers Market is returning with its winter market at the Garver Feed Mill next month. You'll find more than 50 vendors and their products, including Wisconsin cheeses, vegetables, local meats, and baked goods. The market kicks off on January 4th and goes through April 4th. It's in operation from 8 a.m. to noon. Something nice to look forward to.
Very much so, and the weather is a good thing right now, that it's quiet.
Quiet travel's pretty good across much of the country. Not in the far southwest. In California, they have a lot of rain going on there, but our forecast tonight, don't let your guard down. A little freezing drizzle possible tonight, some patchy fog, so a slick spot or two we can't rule out tonight. So just take it easy. It is that time of year again where you have just a little bit of that freezing drizzle, and then sometimes it causes some problems. Christmas and Christmas Eve looking good with some showers and looking good across much of the Midwest. We'll have that travel forecast at 6.
All right, good to have a heads up about that drizzle too. Thank you, Alex. And thanks for watching at 5, everybody. The CBS Evening News is coming up